Good afternoon, everyone. I am Reverend Wendy Silvers, and this is Peace Sunday, a day that is dedicated to each and all of us joining together on the live stream and in person to anchor, to embody, to sit for peace. I hear people talk a lot about how they're a stand for peace. So today is about sitting for peace, having the humility, the willingness, the openness to sit and anchor the vibratory frequency of peace. I've been honoring Peace Sunday for quite a number of years, and if there's time, I might play a video of something that is an initiative of the Million Mamas movement called the Peace Mob. And one of the women who's sitting in the audience allowed us to do a test run of the Peace Mob flash mob at her art event in Culver City, California. And my daughter took a video chuckling as we were doing all the test runs. But it was something that we did for her art event. We did it at 1 Billion Rising. We did it at another event. And it's important to remember that peace is not meant to be heavy and serious. It is also meant to embody that vibratory frequency of peace. So it's about singing and dancing and loving. Because if we cannot love each other, if we cannot love ourselves, we cannot love another human being. And I am so grateful that each and all of you are here. I'm so grateful for Charles Eisenstein, who is joining us, and Aurea Lara, and also somebody that I know pretty well. His name is John Silvers, and I happen to live with him. And so he is going to come forward, and he's going to play his first of several songs. So I'm going to just scoot out of the way and let John sing.
Hello, everyone. This is a song called Grace. You on this planet for? What are you on this planet for? What are you on this planet for? Will you bring love? Will you bring war? What are you on this planet for? What are you on this planet for? What are you on this planet for? What did you learn the time before? And what are you here to re-explore? What are you on this planet for? Oh, did you bring us love? Oh, there's never too much love. Spirit is calling you to uplift the human race. So begin with a smile upon your face and fill the world with grace. What are you on this planet for? What are you on this planet for? What are you on this planet for? Will you bring love? Will you bring war? What are you on this planet for? You can let your spirit soar. Will you let your spirit soar? Open up that sacred door and dance upon the sunlit shore. We'll let your spirit soar. Oh, did you bring us love? Oh, there's never too much love. Spirit is calling you to uplift the human race. So begin with a smile upon your face and fill the world with grace. You can fill the world with grace. Come on, fill the world with grace. Planet for? What are you on this planet for? What did you learn the time before, and what are you here to explore? What are you on this planet for? Planet for, planet for. And the crowd goes wild.
That was John Silvers singing his original composition, and he'll be back to sing another of his original compositions for which he won an award. And you will all have the opportunity to experience that. As somebody who believes in peace, what I know from personal experience is that peace, oftentimes, it begins at home and it begins in your heart. If your heart is not at peace, your mind is not at peace, your spirit is not at peace. And a child that grows up in an environment where there isn't peace, their brains grow differently. The developmental experience for a child who grows up in an environment that is not peaceful is very, very different than a child who grows up in a home where there might be disagreements, but there's also repairing the rupture. There's also nurturing. There's also seeing the closing of a loop when there's a disagreement. What I've learned from firsthand experience and from being devoted and dedicated to nonviolent communication, trauma-informed counseling and parenting is that peace is not the absence of disagreement or the absence of conflict. It is the absence of violence. And violence shows up in many different ways: emotional, mental, physical, spiritual, financial, religious, educational, political. And we're living in a time that is fraught with a lot of anxiety, a lot of uncertainty, a lot of concern. We're in the middle of an election that's pretty contentious. And so there's a lot that is swirling in the environment. And it's exactly the reason why coming together today with the people that are here is so vitally important to your well-being, because a mind that is rooted in truth and peace and love will operate from the prefrontal cortex of the brain, from the executive functioning of the brain, rather than the hindbrain, the reptilian brain, which is all about survival, which is all about give as good as you get, which is all about meeting the anger with anger. So we see evidence around the globe that that's not exactly working at all, and that's an understatement. But if that's what people are grown up, are raised with, that is what they learn. So we're here today to unhook from that pattern and set a new course. And for each and every person that is present here, for each and every person who is watching the recording, this frequency that is being embodied, that's being set forth, will ripple out throughout the multiverse, because energy is non-local. That is why We can feel the pain of somebody on the other side of the world. We know what it's like. I know as a mother, when I see another mother in pain, when I see a child suffering, wherever they are in the world, I feel that in my body. Does anybody else feel that? And so we're here because we're called to nurture peace from our hearts to the world. I want to read to you something that I love from Rumi, and it's called The Guest House. And this is how it goes. This being human is a guest house. Every morning, a new arrival, a joy, a depression, a meanness. So momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all, even if they're a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house, empty of its furniture. Still treat each guest honorably. They may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice, meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whoever comes because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. So this is a perfect example of what it means to be a peace emissary, a peace being. We're not exempt from life. We're not exempt from life's challenges, the vicissitudes of life, the ups and the downs. But when we are mindful, full of our minds, being stayed on being peaceful and nonviolent to the best of our ability, we begin to entrain ourselves and our nervous systems to be in relationship with ourselves and with others from a higher octave. If we cannot forgive ourselves for the ways in which we have fallen short and fall short, it's virtually impossible to forgive someone else. So this concept of charity begins at home. It's home in the heart. If I can't forgive myself, if I'm holding on to stuff, and trust me, I can hold on to stuff. I can have stuff happen and I get to process it. So I get to be the change I wish to see, be the peace I wish to see. So many people say that statement, but I don't know if they really fully grasp that what Gandhi was saying, it was a charge, it was a call to action, to literally be that. You can't have peace if you're not at peace. If you're furious and angry, that ripples out into all of your relationships. It's the undercurrent. You can't separate, the wave from the water. It's part of it. So we get to be a wave. We get to hold that wave, that octave. And I'm going to bring someone onto the stage that I'm so excited to share with you. I met this brilliant man. I met him years ago when we sat on an event together. We were part of a panel for someone who is now on the other side of life. And I remember just sitting there and feeling like, this is so amazing. I just love what this man is saying. And I absolutely am aligned. I agree. Keep talking, keep talking. And his name is Charles Eisenstein. And he is an American public speaker, teacher, and author. He's also the speechwriter for RFK Jr. He's been part of the campaign. His work covers a wide range of topics, including the history of human civilization, economics, spirituality, and the ecology movement. He wrote a book called The More Beautiful World that Charles, I'm butchering your book title, so I'm going to have you come on and talk about it. But I remember thinking about that phrase before I even heard about the book, The More Beautiful World We Can Have. He wrote this beautiful book in which he shared how we can have a more beautiful world. And he continues to bring forward essays and positing information and perspectives that each and all of us can go to his Substack and read. We can follow him, we can attend his courses. So I want to bring to the stage Charles Eisenstein. And Hi, Charles.
Yeah. Hi, Wendy. Yeah, the name of the book is The More Beautiful World Our Hearts Know Is Possible.
I'm not-
Wait, can you hear me?
Yeah, the more beautiful world, our hearts.
So, our hearts know is possible.
Yes, yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. Thank you.
So it's not really like how to have it, but it's something that we know that we sense its possibility, and on some level, we know that there is a way from where we are now to that place. We don't have a formula to get there. We don't have a map, but we have a compass, a magnetic compass, and that's our hearts. So that's what the book is about.
Thank you for
And
clarifying that.
yeah,
I knew the heart was in there somewhere, but it was in this moment, I couldn't think of it. So thank you.
yeah.
Yeah. So
So
Charles, we're living in quite an extraordinary time in history where there's so much that's happening, so much polarization, so much canceling, so much that's happening, people taking sides about so many different issues. I would love for you to share your perspective on this and what you feel our hearts can acclimate to have a different experience.
yeah, well, I really appreciated your comments about peace. Um, I think that really the problem isn't so much that we feel anger and indignation and these other negative emotions, but it's that our political environment, and even deeper, encourages us to direct that anger into the channel that we call hate, into the channel that we call blame, and to make the people that we disagree with into monsters.
Yes.
Because if they disagree with what's obviously true to me, there must be something wrong with them, right? They must be mentally or morally deficient. Otherwise, they wouldn't believe these horrible things. So we have an environment where both sides do that to each other. And we see that especially directed at Donald Trump and his followers, who in the mainstream information ecosystem are, made out to be, a fascist, racist, misogynistic movement that's going to destroy democracy. And therefore, anything's justified to stop them. Well, that mentality, anything is justified to stop them, that's the mentality of war. And so that's why I think that the work you're doing right now is really important, to bring peace consciousness into the public sphere. Because if this war mentality continues to feed on itself, there's no telling what's going to happen if there's a contested election. It doesn't take much for a society that seemed normal to devolve very quickly into civil war.
Yeah.
We saw it in Rwanda, the Hutus and the Tutsis. They hardly even knew who was who. The star-bellied Sneetches and the Sneetches without, they barely knew who was who. And then an ideology arises that, one side sees the other as subhuman. This happens again and again in history. And if we think that we're immune to what happened in, Nazi Germany, what happened in Maoist China, what happened in Rwanda, what happened in many, many places and times, if we think we're immune to that because we're made of better stuff, then we're going to have a rude awakening. So this is why I think peace is so important right now as an outlook. And I'll say one more thing if I'm not talking too long.
No,
just
please.
where does it come from, and where does forgiveness come from? It comes from an inquiry and a curiosity about the other person. What is it like to be you? What were the circumstances that made you into somebody who believes that as you believe, or even who did what you did?
Yeah.
Because then I'm not saying, well, you're just evil or you were just good. Like, that is a non-explanation. But if you say, oh, it is your environment, it's your upbringing, it's all of the trauma that you faced, it's everything that made you into who you are and that keeps you being who you are, then, for one thing, I understand. you know, I can, and I have compassion. That's what forgiveness is. It's like, oh, I understand now. It's not your fault.
Right.
And then secondly, I can do something to change those circumstances. I can be part of that change.
Ah, it's beautiful. Thank you so much thank you for saying that. I often think about the way dehumanization occurs, how it has been part of the playbook when political seeming the leaders, right? When I think of leadership, I think of leadership as somebody who is operating from a place of compassion, somebody who's operating from, the executive function of their brain, they're regulated. I think of somebody who's making decisions, considering, that the Native American philosophy of next 7 generations. Like, to me, that's real leadership, when we have an opportunity to disagree and find a way to honor the differing opinions, but find a way that honors all people. And one of the challenges that I have is that war seems to be so profitable. Why not peace being more profitable? Why can't we focus on the wellness instead of the illness? And it just is like fomenting. When you dehumanize somebody, then it's okay, not really, but then the rationale is it's okay to destroy them. And there's so many hotspots. You think of Israel and Gaza, you think of what's happening, with the election, you think of what's happening in the Congo, you think about what happened in Rwanda or Nazi Germany. You think, there's so much evidence of this playbook of using this dehumanization as an excuse and a rationale for killing and maiming people.
Yeah.
And I honestly, I think about Gandhi's, an eye for an eye leaves somebody blind and toothless. And yet that seems to be the modus operandi, unless there's groups of us that come together to see each other and get curious. Who are you? What makes you tick? What's going on for you? Why do you feel so, so hostile toward that person? If you have your family members blown apart, or you have your land stolen from you, or you have your freedom and rights to speak, to make choices about your body, the brain gets dysregulated. You're going to operate from a very different place than if you're around people that are saying, how can I help you?
Mm-hmm.
How can I serve you?
Yeah, that's, I think one reason that people invoke this kind of war mentality, this dehumanization, is that it works. You spoke of leadership. That's leadership in a new story. That's leadership in a society of compassion. But in the old story, leadership was the person is the leader who points to who the enemy is, who identifies the enemy and rides that wave of hate into power. Politically, this works very well. Like, if you can arouse enough indignation against some target, then you're the leader. And if the indignation, the anger, the fury that you're able to tap into outweighs that of your opponent, then you're going to win the election and your opponent will be defeated. So both sides try to arouse as much hate as possible and reach the people in the middle who aren't quite sure who to hate. So you have the negative campaigning, the negative advertising, and whoever can provide the most credible culprit. Everybody does that, One side is blaming the immigrants for everything. Another side is blaming, even if you blame, corrupt officials or corporate executives or the 1% or the billionaires, as if they were some kind of horrible person. But, you actually meet some of these people. Once in a while, you do meet somebody who is a horrible person, okay? But most of the time, whoever you've decided to hate, you go in there and you meet the Monsanto executives, you meet the hedge fund executives, you meet the bureaucrats. Wherever you go, you meet the liberals and the universities and the woke people, and wherever you go, you find, these are just human beings. Most of them are perfectly nice people. They take their dog for a walk. They love their children. They help out their neighbor. And the diagnosis of evil people in the wrong places just doesn't hold up. And then you're left bewildered, actually, if you're so used to the solution being to conquer evil, to conquer the bad people, to throw them out. If that's your solution set and you don't find them, then what do you do?
Right.
And I think that is a moment of unknowing that we really need right now in our political culture, because that unknowing breeds curiosity, right? And then you get to understand the pro-lifer gets to understand the pro-choicer, and they have a conversation and they realize that the issue is complex and that there are competing moral values and that the other people are not immoral. They're not moral imbeciles, and you don't know what to do.
Right.
And you're not enemies anymore.
The enemy, I love what you said. The enemy image is a very well-versed, and it's an apparatus that's used just like the dehumanization, but the enemy. If you make someone the enemy, then you have to take them down somehow. And then implied with the enemy is a threat when people feel threatened. And what certainly I've learned, my whole world was kind of blown apart in 2015 in terms of truth and transparency and the media and it's just seemingly progressed to how the media is complicit in fomenting these tropes of good people, bad people, the pro-war, pro-peace, or you have to do it this way. And if you do it that way, you're good. If you do it that other way, you're bad. And so there's this mindset that even like kids, and I'm so grateful because we have a child with us here today, which it just is the whole reason why we come together to anchor peace, is because of the children. It's like, I'm at an age now where I'm moving into my elder years, and I want to leave some legacy for the little ones, make it a better world, a more beautiful world your heart wants to see, to have this opportunity for them. And as long as we agree with that, then it will inform the actions that we take. It's like you said, you meet people and you think that, oh, okay, this is the exact person that I don't even like. No, you may not agree with what they think or say or some of the things that they do, but underneath what you're talking about, they walk their dog, they pick up the poop after their dog poops, they want certain things, but where can we agree? To me, that's how you make peace. You create peace. Where can we agree? We want the children safe. We want the earth to be cherished. We want to honor. We want people to have opportunities. We want there to be clean air and clean food and clean soil, clean seeds, non-GMO. Like, can we agree on that?
Yeah. I think we can.
Yeah. So why can't everybody think the way we think?
Well, there's a certain comfort, in putting the blame for any situation on somebody other. And the solution is then simple. If you can find a simple cause, then the solution is to suppress that cause, insulate yourself, destroy that cause. That's the difference between chronic disease and COVID, where when the pandemic hit, there was almost on some level a kind of relief because people thought, okay, now I know what to do to be healthy and safe.
Mm.
For that, when chronic diseases are rising and rising and rising, you can't keep them out with a mask or, a distance or a vaccine. You can't, they're not an enemy that's coming to get you. There's something that arises from within, something that involves how you're living, or something that you totally don't understand. That's, very anxiety provoking when you don't know what's happening and why. But then someone comes and says, oh, here's why. It's this virus, and we have something you can do about it. People naturally gravitate towards that. And politically, it's the same way. If we can blame it on Russia, blame it on China, blame it on Islamic fundamentalism, blame it on immigrants, blame it on corporate executives, blame it on the billionaires, blame it on whatever. That's such a familiar way of thinking that gives you a false sense of power, because it gives you a false solution.
Mhm.
And so everybody essentially has the same solution, which is to get rid of the bad guys. And that itself is the problem. That's what prevents us from seeing the deeper situation. And it makes war the solution.
Mhm. Yes. Yes. Thank you. We other each other. Thank you, Charles. Thank you. Is there anything else you would like to share about peace and your, you've learned, you are so learned, and I'm sure you've learned so much doing what you're doing. I have a question for you.
Okay.
That just, I might be interrupting your train of thought, but I read your Substack. It's wonderful. And oftentimes I find you speaking what's on my heart. And I haven't had the courage to speak out in the way that you have. Where do you find, even though I feel it so strongly, like in my bones, in my heart, where do you find the courage to communicate what it is that you feel so clearly moved by?
Well, for me, courage comes from finally getting clear about something. If I'm not like absolutely clear about something, then the consequences of saying it weigh a lot heavier. But when I'm like, in this latest stuff I've been putting out and really got me into hot water, like I knew that I was going to get into hot water for, I'm critical of Donald Trump, but I'm not going to denounce him. I don't do denouncing, and I don't think he's the monster that he's made out to be. I think that the, exaggerated, distorted accusations about him, like they actually distract from a more substantive critique of his policies, But anyway, like I'm not his biggest fan, but I'm not going to denounce him either. And your ticket to polite society these days is that you have to actually denounce him, So I knew I was going to get into trouble, and for saying that. But when I got clear that this really needs to be said right now, and I have the words to say it, then, you kind of have to do it. I have to do it. So it's not like, it's not that I'm especially brave, it's just, I just happen to be in the place where it just needs to be done. And I didn't do it until I was really, really clear.
Thank you.
Because why get in trouble for saying something you don't even fully believe,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for saying that. And thank you for being here and sharing your wisdom with us. Would you lead us in a moment of meditation, of mindfulness, a moment of silence for peace?
Okay. I'm not sure if we need leadership in that. Something that silence is something that we all know how to do, of course. But I would just say, to accelerate the process, tune into the still point. Still point. That you'll notice when you close your eyes.
Thank you, Charles. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Wendy.
Absolutely. I know I'll talk to you very soon. And thank you. I invite you to stay with us for the meditation.
I have a house guest coming, if it's okay, I sign off.
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right, but thank you for
Blessings.
inviting me to join you. Yeah.
Thank you for being here. All right. So now I'm going to invite John Silvers to come back and sing a song before we move into the next segment of our time together.
There's a song called Black, White, and Red, White, and Blue. I'm a person of multi-race, and people would always walk up to me and ask me, "What are you?" And I would say, "I'm a human being. What are you?" I am a black man, a white man too. I'm all American, just like you, just like you. There's no conflict in my heart over which is my better part. See, I don't wonder who's right, whom I should love, whom I should I am a white man. I'm a red man too. I'm all American, just like you, just like you. There's a harmony in me I know can prevail in society. And freedom will fill our land more than we trust. And what black, white, and red, red, white, and blue. You cannot hate me and love yourself too. Cause you're part of me and I'm part of you. Black, white, and red, white. Look into my eyes, yes, I'm your brother, brother. Under this great blue sky, we've got to care for each other. Earth is our mother, we believe the same color. Let's love each other right now. I'm a red man, black and white man too. I'm all American, just like you, just like you. I have chosen to be free of any single social category. If there's one thing for me to be, then you're missing the beauty of me. Look into my eyes, my sisters and my brothers, under this great blue sky, we've got to care for each other. Earth is our mother, we believe the same color. Let's love each other right now. Oh, let's stop right now. Yeah, yeah. Black, white, and red, red, white, and blue. You can love yourself, then you can love me too. Cause you're part of me and I'm part of you. Oh, oh, black, white, and red, white, and blue. Black, white, and red, white, and blue. Oh, oh, red, white, and black, white, and blue. Black, white, and red, white, and blue. Oh, 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 black, white, and red, white. The earth is our mother. We bleed the same color, yeah. Oh, let's love each other right now. Earth is our mother. We bleed the same color, yeah. Oh, let's love each other right. The earth is our mother. We bleed the same color, yeah. Oh, let's love each other right now. Earth is our mother. We bleed the same color, yeah. Oh, let's love each other right now. All right. Black, white, red, white, and blue. White, blue. Oh, oh, black, white, and red, white, and blue. Oh, 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 black, white, and red, white, black, black, and red, white, black, and red, and white, and black, and blue, and white, and red, and blue, and yellow, and purple, any color will do. Black, white, and red, white, and blue. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Okay. Well, now we're going to move into the meditative portion of this time together. And I'm going to bring onto the screen a map of the world. So, oh, and you're seeing everything. Very interesting. Okay, so let's see. Oh, then we'll go with that one. And I'm going to go back here. Whoop. Okay, it just changed. Thank you. Keep that there. All right, so we go back here. This is such an experiment. Thank you all for being here. Thank you, Aurea, for being here. It's wonderful to be here with all of you. So I'm just going to bring up. Why is there a... Okay, So here is the map of the world. Because there's so much going on in the world, it was really, I felt so moved to be here in a way today with each and all of us joining and honoring the different places in the world where there is war. Mostly, my invitation is for you to check your heart and to see where you might be holding any resentments, because in my experience, it is those resentments that keep us from love. We hold these grudges toward people. Things happen, slights happen, we feel hurt, we feel disappointed. Humans will forever and ever disappoint one another. I just want to say that right up front, because that is like a given. They're going to disappoint you, they disappoint me, I disappointed people. I'm certain in my lifetime I've hurt people without meaning to as well, but it's really not about the times that I hurt somebody. It's about the times that I repair. Do I repair the rupture? Do I go back? Do I go back and I make amends? Yeah, an apology is not an amends. I'm sorry is not an amends. An amends is when you literally change, you transform your behavior so that you can eliminate the repetition of a pattern that hurts you and hurts other people. So today on Peace Sunday, and with the influence of the equinox, which is very potent at this time, we're going to join together and we're going to have Aurea, who's this beautiful soul who is tuning in from Atlanta. She's going to play the singing bowls so that we can really bring ourselves into our hearts. And I'm going to mention different places around the world where there is war and violence, so that we can send out ripples of love, ripples of energy through being in the stillness. So, and I'm going to do one thing here. Bear with me for 2 seconds. No. Yeah, there. Okay, so there we are. We've got the map. And now we're going to have Aurea, are you there?
Yep.
All right. So I'm just going to invite all of you to close your eyes and take a slow and allow that breath and the energy of that breath to rise to the top of that. That breath to rise all the way up to the tippy top of that breath. Hold that breath. Draw in a little more air. Slowly exhale. One more time. Allowing the breath to rise all the way up without gripping. Allowing your shoulders to fall over your ears. You don't have to charge on. And slowly exhale. Bringing your awareness bringing back with you the feeling tone of being in that place and space in consciousness of peace, of love and forgiveness. Allowing this to just wash over your entire being, anchoring this feeling tone as you return back into this dimension fully and wholly and completely. Breathing in and breathing out. And I'm going to speak a word, and then at the end of the word that I speak, I'm going to invite us to tone Om 3 times. And so my heart is full and overflowing with gratitude and thanksgiving for this sacred time, for this opportunity to declare, to set forth the healing tone, the vibratory frequency of peace through and as our very life. Blessing each and every person, blessing Charles for coming forward and having this dialogue, blessing John for coming forward and sharing his music of the Silvers, blessing Aurea for her coming forward and playing the singing bowls, for holding this vibratory frequency through sound. I know sound is so healing, this frequency. Blessing Nova for being here, and the child, as the great master teacher said, be ye as a child, enter this life, enter this world, enter all of our experiences and the curiosity, anchoring peace in this world. I'm so grateful for each and every person that said yes to being here this day, and for all of those in the live stream aspect of this event. I bless and know that peace has been established, that the peace has gone forward into all of the areas into each and every person, blessing all. I'm calling forth peace and peace of mind. I'm calling forth a world that honors the highest and the greatest quality and generosity and compassion, opportunity, what I'm calling forth in the leadership, and all of us holding that in our hearts and our minds. So I know that that has been established this day through this Peace Sunday event, and that as each and every person returns to the activities of their life, they return renewed, refreshed, recalibrated at this level of peace and love, anchoring and embodying forgiveness, this giving forth, this giving, letting go of anyone or anything that they're holding, knowing that transformation that is rippling out throughout the multiverse. Peace has been established and will continue to unfold into and as each and every person in each and every region of the country and the world. This is what I know, this is what I declare is happening right now. And in agreement, I invite each and every person to join with me in 3 ohms. So breathing in and oming. And another, breathing in. And one more, breathing in and oming. very gently open your eyes and look around, taking everyone and everything in, feeling your feet on the ground, tapping your feet, breathing in and stretching. Exhaling. Shoulder rolls, yeah. And so it is. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Aurea.
Thank you.
Peace and richest blessings. I will make sure that you all receive this recording and ways to stay in touch. Enjoy the day. Bye for now.